Hari Om to all. Sit straight. Head, neck, backbone straight. Let us withdraw the mind from idam, happenings in the world. There are two worlds, Jagatyam Jagata. From outer world first, and then in meditation, the inner world. Let us focus on our body and give command to our body to relax. Let us relax the head, the face. Let us relax the shoulders and hands. Let us relax the chest and back, stomach, buttocks. Let us relax thighs, knees, calf muscles, ankle, feet. The entire body is relaxed and alert, not demanding any attention. Still and comfortable. Let us focus on our breath. Inhalation, exhalation constantly going on. Let us observe the breath. Mind becomes alert, fresh, comes in the present moment. Mind becomes detached, like air. Let us focus on our emotions. What am I feeling? Feelings constantly change. But I know that I'm angry, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm irritated. So I'm the knower. I'm not the known. Let us focus on our thoughts. The quality of thoughts, the quantity of thoughts, the direction of thoughts, whole day, 24/7. Unknowingly, when we are relaxing, doing nothing, what kind of thoughts comes to my mind? Where my thoughts are directed towards. And I am the knower of thoughts, so the knower has to be different than the known. The witnesser has to be different than the witnessed. The observer has to be different than the observed. The illuminator has to be different than the illumined. The seer has to be different than the seen. So I am the seer. This is Upanishadic, Vedantic meditation where constantly I have to remind myself that what has been discussed in this Upanishad is about me. I am this. I am that. Let us observe the observer. Who is the knower? Who is the witnesser? Who is the illuminator? Awareness about awareness. Let us invoke grace of God and Guru by chanting loudly. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा कृतः कस्य स्विद्धनं कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेचतगं समाह। एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे। असुर्यानामते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसा वृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः। अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतोऽन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति। अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतोऽन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति।
Hari Om Vidya, thank you. So we saw first three mantras. If anybody has any question, if any question is coming, this is a time to ask. In the first mantra, so please think if you have any question, then Manisha will unmute. In the first mantra we saw for Uttam Adhikari, the marga indicated is Jnana Marg. Directly the Guru says that Isavasyam Idagam Sarvam. You pervade this entire world with Isha. If I have not renounced, if I am still into action orientation a lot, if I am not finding myself as the Uttam Adhikari, not having the sadhana chatushtaya, Uttam Adhikari is sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. Then follow karma marg. These are the only two options for a sadhak. This is mentioned for a sadhak because we are Upanishadic students. So for Upanishadic students, the second marga given is karma marg, where we saw karma yoga principles, where it has been mentioned Kurvan eva ya karmani. There is only one path remaining then if you are not able to renounce many things. Path of doing duties cheerfully, happily, and renouncing the result. If I am not able to renounce the action itself, then start with renouncing the results of the action. The mind will become peaceful, the mind will become concentrated, and then that is the best quality of the mind to study Upanishad. So that is the karma marga indicated. For Kanishta Adhikari, if these two are not there, then the gati becomes different. Then I will go to lower gati. So the third is the indication of, we cannot say Ajnana marga, but it is called as a path indicated of Ajnanis who do not know that there is something called as Atma, something called as rebirth, something called as gati. Because the entire focus is on body, mind, intellect, and maximum experiences from this false appearing illusory world and getting caught into the attachments of the world which is illusory, which is appearing. And the gati is Asurya Namate Loka. So Asurya means I will go to lower worlds, and that is due to Andhena Tamasa Vruta. So I will have lot of attachment which will create sorrow in this life itself. So suppose I am having lot of sorrow, lot of anger, lot of frustration, lot of irritation, maybe I am going in a lower gati. Because we saw in Bhagavad Gita also, Dhyayato Vishayan Punsa, there also Lord says that anger finally leads to adhogati. Pranashyati, the person perishes, the buddhi perishes with anger, frustration, irritation, suppression, depression, sadness. And buddhi is the main discriminative factor for our day-to-day inquiry. And Upanishadic inquiry requires subtle, sharp, alert buddhi with a peaceful mind. So why pranashyati? Because I will not be able to discriminate between what is real, what is unreal, what is happiness, what is sorrow. I will start thinking that sorrow itself is happiness. I will be completely attached to the senses and the world. And then I will be a Atmahana. It is something called as suicide. A very interesting concept mentioned in Upanishad. So who is Atmana? We saw that one who doesn't know about Atma, doesn't do any Atma Chintan, doesn't have any knowledge about rebirth, Atma, something, there is something beyond body, mind, intellect is there as an entity. One who doesn't uses one's potential, one who doesn't uses vivek in day-to-day life, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, and just lives life in pleasure, comfort, leisure, in sense indulgence is Atmana. So the first three mantras we saw, and actually now the next four mantras is the main Upanishad coming. So, any question has come, Manisha? Because in Upanishad, the only discussion is focused on...
Hey, Suchitra had asked only what is Gati.
Gati is the marga. After we... Maybe how can we explain? When we die, in simple words, the body goes into the 5 elements. That is very clearly known. Those who have not yet seen, they can go to Somaya ground or Chembur ground and see once what happens. Some vairagya, some momentary vairagya might come, and sometimes I must imagine also, okay, I will be one day sleeping there on that, number one. Second, the subtle body the Jiva Bhava will take another body. subtle and the causal body. Nothing happens to Atma. Atma is Satchidananda Swarup. And the subtle body and the causal body. So good question, Suchitra. The mentioned last time also, Pratima has mentioned this in the summary where she has seen. Upanishad mentions that our gati, our next birth will depend upon our karma that we have studied in Bhagavad Gita. But here one more addition is given that depending upon our knowledge, also our gati will be dependent. So what is the knowledge? What it has been mentioned? Suppose I have this knowledge only that I am this body. I am this body only. Then I will get another body and I might go to lower world. Because I will be mostly entangled into the sense enjoyment. But suppose my knowledge is come to little higher level and I think, I am convinced that no, I am not body, but I am a jiva, transmigrating jiva. Then I will, suppose I have done punya, then I will get better birth, healthy, wealthy, wise, where I will be interested and very easy for getting this knowledge. So here also we see one question is answered that, we are not realizing that how easily this knowledge is coming to us. That is, Guruji says that we have done lot of punya so that we have done more punya than going to Swarga. So we are interested in this knowledge and this knowledge is coming to us so easily. Otherwise, there are hundreds of obstacles. There are many people want this knowledge but cannot attend the class. Some guest come, something happens, I fall sick, something happens. So we don't realize when we get this that without any disturbance and distraction, 1 hour we are able to listen to this knowledge itself is a lot of punya. Swami Advainanji says that all these obstacles are basically our papa only who take us away from this knowledge, because our papa doesn't want we to hear this knowledge, because more I hear, the more I will know about ignorance and ego doesn't want us to hear it. While listening also, obstacles like boredom, then sleep, distraction will come. That is our papa only, because it doesn't want us to listen to this. And so I will get that gati. And the third one, suppose I always contemplate, I say 4 Mahavakyas, I say asongoham, 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 punah punah. I say aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa every day. I remember 4 Mahavakyas. I always say to myself, my real nature is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. And I want to know that Brahma. Why? Because Om Brahmavid apnoti param, knower of Brahman attains supreme. Those who have attended Taittiriya Upanishad, we have discussed on this Mahavakya maybe 4 months. Only one Vakya we have discussed. So then my gati will be different, because I will never forget this knowledge that I am actually Satchidananda. And for a Upanishadic student, basically the entire Upanishad, all Upanishad in one way or the other point about Brahman, Atma, self, truth itself. Kathopanishad will take story form, what is beyond death, Nachiketa and Yama. Prashnopanishad, we will have 6 questions asked by one Shishya to Guru. Then in Isavasya Upanishad, it has been mentioned that, okay, pervade this world. So in the six question in Prashnopanishad would be, what is this creation? What is prana? How to meditate? Who is the illuminator in the sleep? So now somewhere all the pointers in all Upanishads are coming to only one aspect. We are not interested in what is happening in husband-wife relationship, world, happiness, sorrow, children, money, job, nothing. That discussion is not there in Upanishad. Gurudev says that is in the Bhagavad Gita, because Arjuna is a warrior. Here the entire discussion is consciousness, existence, bliss, and I want to get that immortality. Amrutatvam. We saw in Maitreya Brahmana Upanishad. So that is a gati. So now the question comes that, okay, you have said Isha Vasyam Idagam Sarvam, but what is this Isha? I want to know more. So this is the main Upanishad, because this Upanishad has only 18 mantras. And after this mantra also, some scholars say the Upanishad has ended. because suddenly a different track is going to come after the 9th mantra. So these 4 mantras are different pointers on Isha. What is this Isha? Please explain to us in detail. So the 4th wave, this is a 4th wave. First mantra is a first wave, second mantra is a second wave, third mantra is a third wave. 4th mantra, 4 to 8 is the 4th wave. 4th wave in the sense different topics are taken. Ignorant remains in this world by not knowing the Isha. Wise get liberated by knowing the Isha. So what is this Isha now explained? Now in the first mantra of this topic, that is the 4th mantra, 6 pointers are given. So suppose I do not want to waste my life, then I have to focus on Isha. I must know the supreme nature of the Isha and Atma. So now this 4th mantra, we are getting different pointers. 6 pointers are given here to contemplate, to meditate on the Isha, the Brahman, the highest truth. What are these? Now very important, as we were discussing, whatever we are going to discuss now from 4 to 8, we have to always tell that this description is about me. That is a very important point. Otherwise, I say that, okay, no, I understood about Brahman, I understood about Atma, but I have problems. But I have this problem, that problem, this problem. So who is this I who is having this problem? Yeah, I know Brahman has no problem, Atma is not problem, but I am having problem. That means I am not considering myself as Atma or Brahman. At least intellectually, I must be able to realize that, okay, Atma, Brahman has no problems and I am this Atma or Brahman, whatever point of view I am taking. So when we read this, we think that this Brahman or Atma is this, and I understand intellectually all the pointers. But every time I have to come back and say, this is the discussion happening about me. As I mentioned last time, one Mahatma was reading Upanishad and some people asked, you are realized, why are you reading this? He told that I am reading what Upanishads are saying about me. And they're fairly accurate. That is what he added. So now first word, anejada. Anejada means unmoving. It remains same. It never gives up its own nature. That is very important because our nature is changing. So we must not focus on other people's swabhava or their behavior, because actually their nature and my original nature is unchanging. My nature remains same throughout. Now this is a very important pointer to remember, because finite things move in space and time. I change as a waker, dreamer, sleeper, so my entity is changing. I do not know whether I am actually a waker, going to sleep and having a dream, or I am actually a dreamer having this waking state as a dream. Then the finite things change and modify. Milk becomes curd. Then the finite things tremble. Finite things fall. So this is a very important aspect of this particular word. Atma is subtler than time and space. Atma is infinite. And so 5 indicators are given here in Anejat. No movement in space, no transition with time, no change, no trembling, no falling. And this is me. So sometimes I must sit quietly. This is what is indicated in this Upanishad, that at least sometime I must sit quietly and say, I am Anejat. I am unmoving. I am not shivering. I am not trembling. I am not falling down. I am not changing. I am not having any transition with change. I am not moving in space. And then when I meditate on this, so these are the pointers for a sadhak to meditate. so that I actually start getting closer and closer to my real nature, because I still can't believe that I can be this. So Guruji says, no trembling and no falling we must remember, because this will make us more and more fearless. Whenever we are feeling fearful, whenever we are feeling anxious, whenever we are feeling nervous, whenever we are shivering with some things what we are doing, which are very insignificant things. So you have to do with complete attention and care. But all these things must not happen, because at the core, I must remember that there is no change happening in me. There is no trembling in me. There is no falling in me. So what is a practice? My real nature is Sat Chit Ananda, and the feeling of I am not moving, I am not modifying, I am not changing. Otherwise, I was young, then I became middle-aged, and now see, I have become old. What to do? I cannot see, I cannot walk. Those were the days. All these things Upanishadic sadhak doesn't talk about, because the sadhak says this has been discussed about body, which I am not. This has been discussed about mind, which is happy, sad, which I am not. This has been discussed whether I'm ignorant and knowledgeable. This is about intellect, which I am not. My real nature is not moving, not changing, not modifying, not trembling, and not falling. So I sit quietly in the depths and I say this sentence, and automatically the meditation will start happening. This itself is meditation when I'm contemplating on this. So existence aspect is mentioned here, because existence doesn't move, existence doesn't change, existence have no trembling. This is talking about existence aspect as such, not existence of the table, existence of this person, existence of this body, existence of the computer, because that may change. But there is an existence principle that doesn't change at all. So its nature doesn't change. It remains the same. So henceforth, we should not talk like this, you were very good earlier, but now you have changed. Whom are we talking? We're talking about body, mind. When two people get married, then they after 40 years, you were like this, like this, like this. Now your nature is changed, but that is going to be the fact. Because the body will change, mind will change, intellect will change, buddhi will change, opinion will change, beliefs will change, faith will change, because those are all finite things. But my real nature is pure existence, which I never give up. So I never have this thought that I am not. I will always have this thought, I am. Ramana Maharshi, when he was lying there, he saw, I could see my body. I could see my body lying there, but then I realized, I am there. I realized that I am there. So that means I am not this body, very clearly he was indicating, and that is why he went to Arunachala and meditated on that aspect of I amness. Second one, Ekam. Advaitam, no duality, one without a second, one Isha present in all. So how to meditate on this? I must say, okay, I am this one person. Let us start with our gross. But there are so many colors I can see, so many objects I can see, so many things I can see, so many people I can see, but I am one. So I start with that. Okay, this world has so much of variety, but I am one. At least I am thinking that I am this Prasad, I am this body, mind, intellect. So I am one, and there are many things in the world. Step number one. Cause is one, effects are many. Second, gold is one, ornaments are many. God is one, forms are many. Body is one, objects are many. That is what we saw. Mind is one. So we can say I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated. But mind is one. Emotions are many. Buddhi is one, because I know my this thought, that thought, my ignorant thought, my knowledge thought. In Upadesh Sar, we saw that for a jnani, the knowledge also and ignorance also is a thought. Both are same. No, I am very knowledgeable with Upanishadic study. No, I am very ignorant because I have not studied this. For Atma, knowledge and ignorance both are same, because both can be known. I know that I am ignorant. I know that I am knowledgeable. So buddhi is one, thoughts are many. Drashta, seer is one, drishya, scenery is many. So who am I? I am not the scenery. I am not the drishya, but I am the drashta. So this is why, this is how I must meditate. that I am not this emotion. Emotions are many, but I know all these emotions. This emotion had come 5 years back also, because 5 years also back also, I was getting angry. Now also I am getting angry, but I am not focusing on the anger. I am focusing on the knower of the anger. So I am the drashta, unaffected by the drishya. So whenever we are turmoiled by emotions, thoughts, body changes happening, I must say, okay, there is a knower in it, and that knower is the drashta, illuminator. Let me focus on that. And all these things will slowly reduce, disappear. So consciousness aspect is mentioned here, because I am conscious of my world, I am conscious of my body, I am conscious of my emotions, I am conscious of my thought. This is what the meditation, what we do. And then slowly, when all these things, I start losing interest, saying that it is only an appearance, I am the consciousness, the meditation starts happening. So, anejad ekam manaso javiyo. Now, this is very interesting. Manaso javiyo means I am faster than the mind. So now we know the speed of the mind is considered as the fastest. It can go to Brahmalok and come down. The moment I say America, the mind has gone to America, met some relatives and come back also. In microsecond, the mind can go to Africa, mind can go to moon, mind can go to Jupiter. The moment I have to think, the mind goes to lokas, all the planets and universe and come back. No. So before that, there is one objection. In anejad, you mentioned that it doesn't change, and now you say it is faster than the mind. So don't you think it is contradictory? Yes, it is contradictory. So now it is an important point. We have to pay attention, because manaso javiyo means what is been mentioned as the pointer of Atma is that it is faster than the mind. But just now you said earlier, one breath back, that it doesn't move, it is infinite, it doesn't change its nature, but anything which moves is finite. So how can these two you are taking in the one mantra? So if you remember, this prashna was asked by Yaksha also to Yudhishthir, that what is fastest, and Yudhishthir that time gave mind. Mind is the fastest. So till now it is true, but in Upanishadic level, we are finding this objection and contradiction here. So please tell me, when you are indicating Atma as anejad and you say manaso javiyo, means it moves and it moves not, both. So now we have to introduce one concept called as concept of upadhi. This is an important concept of Upanishad, because many of the contradictions what we find in various scriptures, even many of the times we find contradiction in people. They are basically different point of views, different context. If you change the context, the content changes. And that is why Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya is very important, because whenever he writes Bhashya on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, he will say in what context this is being said. So this is the meaning of this word. So now upadhi, there are two, upadhik lakshana and nirupadhik lakshana. But first of all, what is the meaning of upadhi? The definition of upadhi is that which stays near and gives its own property to other. Conditioning and unconditioning. We have heard the story about Tapan Maharaj and Swami Chinmayananda when he was studying with him. All the time, Tapan Maharaj is today, whatever I say to you, it is, please consider as conditioned Brahman what I am explaining. So one day, Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda asked him that, why don't you remove the conditioning and tell me the Brahman? So he smiled and kept quiet. After the lecture was over, he told Chinmaya, please get me a glass of water. So immediately Swamiji went and got a glass of water. He told very sternly,
Prasad, he said, get me water.
get me water, get me water. And then he got a glass of water. Correct. Thank you, Manisha. And then he told, I told you to get water. Why have you brought the glass? He told, how can I give you water without the glass? And then Tapan Maharaj told, that is what I told you. the answer to your question that how can I explain Brahman without conditioning. It is very difficult, though there are nirupadik condition mentioned. But still, I am understanding from my buddhi and putting some conditioning and concepts on it. So we will see the next fifth verse. The fifth verse we are going to see, which gives lot of contradictions. So why contradictions are given? So that we do not form one concept. We do not have a concept of Atma and say, no, I have understood Atma. Atma is Sachidananda Swarup, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Om Brahmavit Apnoti Param, and okay, understood what is Maya, what is Ishwar. All these things are understood from the words. Words itself are only pointers and conditioned. So now there are two things in Upadhi. So that is a prerequisite of Upadhi, conditioning. So we take classic example in Vedanta of a crystal and hibiscus flower. I think we know a crystal which is transparent, and when we bring a hibiscus flower near it, then we see the crystal red. So when we bring the hibiscus flower near to the crystal which is transparent is seen red. Now the hibiscus flower has given its red color to the crystal which is absolutely transparent and crystal clear. There is no contact, there is no change, there is no connect, there is no relationship. But we can see the crystal red in color. I think we can do that. I think if you have a crystal in your puja room, just take that crystal, look, and you will see crystal clear, and then just put one hibiscus flower. You can put any flower, and then we will start seeing the crystal that color. So very important, no contact, no connection, no relationship. They are not actually giving properties to each other as it's been mentioned in English, but the crystal appears to be red. That is the only thing what we can see. The crystal appears to be red. So when Atma comes in contact with body, mind, intellect. Now here Atma is the crystal and body, mind, intellect is the hibiscus flower. When they both come together, then the Atma appears to be having the qualities of the body, which is limited, about the mind, which is having emotions and thought, about the intellect, which is having constantly different knowledge or ignorance, and it appears to be moving. And that's the reason we ask, oh, this one Atma is moving, another Atma is moving. When a person dies, the Atma goes from one body to another. No, Atma doesn't move. It appears to be moving with the body, mind, intellect. The redness of the prism is of hibiscus. Similarly, the limitations are of the body, mind, intellect. But Atma is crystal clear, limitless, infinite. Second example, from the standpoint of earth, sun is rising and setting. From the standpoint of sun is not rising and setting. From the point of view of earth, there is darkness and light. From the standpoint of sun, there is no darkness, there is only light. So if we ask, suppose we get an opportunity to go to Brahman and ask, okay, Brahman, do you know this Jagat? He says, what Jagat? There is no Jagat. There is no darkness. There is no Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. I alone exist as Sat Chit Ananda. So Anejada means from the standpoint of Atma, Nirupadik, unmoving. And from Manaso Javiyo means mentioned from the BMI point of view, Sopadik, Upadhi point of view. And from Upadhi point of view, what I say, I am tall, I am happy, I am intelligent. I am tall, I am short, I am dark, I am fair body. I am happy, I am sad, I am frustrated, angry. From the mind, I am intelligent, I am Uttam Adhikari, I am Madhyam Adhikari, I am Kanishta Adhikari. All these are qualities of the body, mind, intellect, which has no relationship with the Atma, but they are just because they are coming together, Sanidhya, it appears to have the qualities and they have shared the qualities. So Atma's qualities are taken by the body, mind, intellect, and body, mind, intellect takes the Atma's qualities. So what is Atma's qualities? I feel that I want to be happy. I feel that I want to exist forever. I feel I want to know. These are Atma's qualities. I want to expand. I'm never satisfied. I can never be satisfied by doing anything in this world because my nature of Atma is infinite. So only infinity will satisfy me. So Atma appears to be moving with the Upadhi. So I-ness is illumined by the Atma before thought, mind arises. But this connection say that Atma is the fastest, faster than the mind, because before the mind moves, when the emotion comes or thought comes, the Atma is already there, because where does the thoughts and emotions are appearing? In the Atma only, in the consciousness only, which is unmoving, which is already there. So consciousness is fastest than the mind. So very important. There are so many books on discover the power of mind, discover the potential of your mind, the mind power, this, that, train the mind, train the mind. But here we are talking of Atma, which is more powerful, faster than the mind, because all this mind appears to be appearing, sustaining and dissolving on the screen, which is unmoving. So it is faster because it's already there before the thought has arisen. When the thought has dissolved, it's always there. So consciousness illumines the mind. Atma cannot be grasped by the mind. That is also mentioned in this next verse. So Manaso Javio means this Atma is faster than the mind. Fastest. Because everything appears on the Atma. All the sound and light show is appearing on the screen. The screen is already there. So screen is faster than the mind. So from that point of view, it has been mentioned Manaso Javiyo. And we saw the contradiction also very clearly, that the contradiction is appearing only from the point of view. So this POV, we have to master. All the challenges, all the difference of opinion, all the problems in life are only happening because my point of view is different than your point of view. Once we understand each other's point of view, the friction, the conflict dissolves. This is in day-to-day transactions, but at the highest level also, from what point of view I am talking. No, I understand about Atma, Brahman, but I am basically an action-oriented person. Now, which point of view I have taken very strongly, that I am this body, mind, intellect. So that point of view I am talking about. So we'll take one more. Naida Deva Apnuvan Purva Marshata. Devas, that which illumines. Devas means here the senses. Actually, Deva means the power of illumination, cannot attain it. A very, very important one, because whatever I do in this world, I will not be able to have darshan of Atma, darshan of God by my senses. That is impossible. Not possible. Nainat Deva, I will not be able to have darshan because the illumination only illumines what is outside. So here, what is been mentioned, that the subject is mentioned, that I am not the object, I am the subject. And this is very important because people make God as an object. People make Brahman as an object. People make Atma as an object, because without making an object, the mind cannot understand it. So mind wants to fix it. Okay, I know Atma, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, but these are words. I can understand it, but to realize, I need to go beyond that. So torch cannot see the battery. That is an example. Atma is behind. There's only way of saying, is the illuminator of the mind, and the mind is the illuminator of the senses. Deva. Deva means, one of the meaning is illuminator. The Atma illumines the mind illumines the senses. Atma is not the object which can be known by senses, and mind means intellect also. So all this Upanishadic study, what we are doing, we cannot know Atma. Atma is only pointed. And in the meditation, we leave the pointer and then go beyond the pointer and realize what the pointer is indicating. Senses cannot even get a glimpse of Atma because it is beyond it. Then how to know? The only way to know is Manolaya and Manonasha. Method to know is the turning of the self from idam to aham. That is what we are doing in meditation. Withdraw the mind from the world, withdraw the mind from the body, withdraw the mind from the emotions, withdraw the mind from the thoughts, and then focus on the illuminator. And when the mind focuses on the illuminator, the only thing what it can do or it can happen is laya. And then once we practice laya for some time, there is a possibility of manonasha. The mind will, manonasha means mind will not die. The only ego aspect will die. The I-ness will go. And there will be oneness, because the I thought creates the division between me, God, and the world. That when that I thought disappears, there is that oneness which will come in the further pointers which are given in this mantra itself. So subject aspect is mentioned here. So we have to remember what all aspects are mentioned here. So next, we have covered 1, 2, 4 we have covered. 2 we will take next time. So this is how a person listens to Upanishad, and then when we do Manan, then these thoughts will come in meditation, and on these words the person starts meditating. But later on, when we listen to all these things, one students ask, Bhagwan, why you are not telling it is Satchitananda only? But it is Satchitananda only different ways. Because we are interested in variety. So take variety. One aloo. We can make aloo sabji, aloo samosa, but so much variety we are interested. So Bhagwan says, okay, I am giving you several pointers to think. Just focus on this. And that's the reason we have to say which aspect is mentioned here. Existence aspect. Okay, this is consciousness aspect. This is existence and conscious aspect. This is subject aspect. Because when the mind starts reading this constantly, the mind will not go into the world. The mind will not get entangled into all those transactions, what we are doing. Immediately withdraw and will remember these words. So Upanishadic students just do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam. That's all is the job for Upanishadic student who has taken sannyas, Vividisha sannyas, and then person meditates and takes the sannyas what we saw in Maitri Brahmana Upanishad. So, before we close, all of you know that 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita discourse is going to happen from 26th December to 30th December in Saraswati Vidyalaya. Swami Advaitanand Ji is coming. This will be the last session on Bhagavad Gita by Swamiji. From 58 verses, 56 to 78 he is going to cover. Last 18 years he has been covering. So those who are staying in Chembur, Ghatkopar nearby, please come. Those who cannot come, you can sponsor one shloka, you can sponsor the yajna, you can sponsor one arti, or those who are staying nearby, you can call Swamiji at home, or if you do not want to invite at home, then you can bring the bhiksha to Saraswati Vidyalaya and then give the bhiksha to Swamiji there in the Saraswati Vidyalaya itself. In whatever way, support this noble cause, because Chinmaya Mission doesn't charge any money for knowledge. All knowledge is free, and we don't realize what this knowledge is, how this knowledge is transforming us from Baddha to Siddha, and what we are getting as enlightenment as the highest. So we have to keep asking. Some people might think again and again you ask money, but there is no other way. Gurudev says people who are studying Vedanta, they have a lot of ego of asking. They don't ask because they think they know everything. So here is one mission where we have to ask. Asking is very difficult. Giving is easy, but asking is difficult. So those who can support in whichever way, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, please do. Either money or surveys or invite or whatever we can support as such. Manisha will send the details today in these groups. And Vishnu Sahasranam, you know, we're happening on 31st of December. So if you want to enroll, those messages also are coming. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.